Okay, it's time to be honest. How much time have you recently spent analyzing text messages you've received or reading into the pause before someone's responded or replaying a conversation over and over in your head, trying to figure out what they really meant and obsessing over a micro expression or an energy shift that you sensed? And you may think you're using your intuition, right? You think that that's your sensitivity at work, your gift of perception. But what if I told you that's not intuition at all? That's hypervigilance. And the difference between the two and knowing what they are in your system, in your body, in your mind, will change everything. In the next few minutes, during this video, I'm going to show you how to tell the difference and how to finally access your real intuition rather than constantly tapping into that hypervigilance state. So let me paint you a picture. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Someone texts you something that feels a little bit off, and instead of just noting it and moving on, you spend the next couple of hours or maybe even the day dissecting it. What did they really mean? Why did they use that particular word? Did they use an emoji that was a bit odd? Why did the energy feel different? What aren't they telling me? And you replay these conversations over in your head and you analyze their facial expressions, you track mood shifts, and you're constantly scanning for any hidden messages, threats, or changes in their energy. And it is exhausting. But here's the thing that you need to understand. If it's exhausting, it's not intuition. It is hypervigilance. Real intuition, when you're connected to it, it doesn't drain you. It's instant. It's clear. And it doesn't require a 3-hour mental spiral to figure out what's actually the truth in that situation. Hypervigilance, though, feels like work because it is work. Your nervous system is in overdrive, scanning for threats, trying to predict outcomes, trying to control what happens next. Intuition is a calm knowing. Hypervigilance is anxious scanning. Intuition happens in your body in an instant. And hypervigilance happens in your mind over several hours and often at night before you're trying to fall asleep. And here's something that's really important to understand. It isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to repair this tendency inside of you so that you can begin to live from a more empowered place. If you grew up in an environment where you had to track everyone's moods to stay safe, if you had to read the room, which is how you develop your empath capacity, you had to decode hidden meanings, predict reactions in order to stay safe, your nervous system learned that your safety depended on this constant vigilance. You needed to develop this skill because it kept you safe. But what was once a survival need is now exhausting you. And it's probably just a default mode that you have learnt. And what's happening when you come into this hypervigilant state is that it actually blocks your real intuition. Intuition lives in your body, and hypervigilance lives in your mind. And when you are stuck in your head analyzing, you can't hear what your body already knows. Think about it. Real intuition is that instinct, that instant gut sense, the subtle yes or no in your body. And it may appear in different parts of your body depending on your energetic orientation and makeup. If you're a woman, for instance, it could appear in your womb space. But the energy shift is something that you feel physically, physiologically. Hypervigilance That's that endless whirring analysis in your head, the story building, the what if spirals, the need to gather evidence in order to justify or support your own actions or your own stance on things. Here's what's actually happening. You are getting intuitive hits, and your sensitivity is real. You do perceive things that others don't. But the second that you get that hit, instead of trusting it, you immediately start analyzing it. You send it to your brain, you send it to your head. So here's an example. You meet someone new, and within 3 seconds, your body says, there's something off here. That's your intuition. That's your deep empathic, sensitive capacity to read a situation. But then your mind kicks in. They seem nice. They look nice. Everyone else seems to like them. Maybe I'm being judgmental. Let me give them a chance. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me gather more evidence. And you spend the next few hours or days or weeks trying to prove or disprove what that initial 3-second knowing actually was. Your intuition already told you the answer in the first 3 seconds. The next 3 hours of analysis, however, is just your hypervigilance looking for permission to trust your intuition. This is why you're exhausted. You're not tired from tapping into your empathic capacity, your sensitivity. You're tired from not trusting it. You're tired from thinking your way into certainty instead of trusting your body's instant knowing. Because real intuition is quiet. It's the whisper underneath all of the mental noise that your brain loves to come up with. Hypervigilance is loud. It's the anxiety, it's the obsessing, it's the mental gymnastics that happens. And most sensitive people can't hear their intuition anymore because the hypervigilance, the disassociation from our own bodies because of so many micro and macro traumas in our world, it's drowning it all out. So what you really want to do in this situation is allow yourself to discern the difference between the two. So intuition, your empathic capacity, it's instant. It's usually quite calm. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's telling you to move in a different direction, it's usually quite calm. It's body-based. It feels like a knowing sense, not a figuring out sense, and it doesn't require evidence. Hypervigilance, however, requires mental effort. It feels anxious or frantic. It's also future focused. What will happen if, and needs to gather proof. It's exhausting. Here's what I want you to practice. Notice the first thing you feel about a person or a situation before your mind has time to jump in with analysis. That instant yes, no, off, or good feeling in your body, that is your intuition. Everything that comes after that, 3 seconds, is likely your mind trying to make sense of it, justify it, or talk yourself out of it because of some patterning, because of some good girl, good guy patterning, or wanting to keep in with the crowd or with society. So that patterning comes in to try and justify your presence in that situation or make it okay that you're still in this same sphere as this person that you're not feeling good about being around. Practice trusting the instant knowing without needing to explain why you know this. Your intuition doesn't need a PhD in order to be valid. Now, healing the hypervigilance part, that requires addressing the root of what was there that came in to allow that hypervigilance to take root in yourself. Recognize that it came from a part of yourself that did not feel safe, that sent your nervous system into fight, flight, freeze, or even fawn response. Thank your nervous system. Say to it, say to that part of you, I see you. I know you were trying to protect me, and I'm safe now. I've got this. Create actual safety in your life, in your body. Put boundaries in place with people that you don't feel fully comfortable with or that feel a bit unpredictable. Create environments where you can actually fully and completely relax without having to have your guard up. So real sanctuaries where you can be in yourself and your soul and come to rest. The more genuinely safe that you feel, the less you're going to need that hypervigilance and the clearer your intuition is going to become. Because you need to turn down that excess noise that your mind is currently producing so that you can attune to the quiet knowing that your body and your intuition is actually giving you. So a reminder, real intuition is instant, it's quiet, and it doesn't require long explanations. If you're exhausted from using your intuition, you're not actually using your intuition. You're using hypervigilance. And the most powerful thing you can do is learn to hear the whisper of your body's knowing before your mind starts to overthink and go into analysis. The first hit is your intuition, and you need to trust it. So I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below. Can you tell the difference between your intuition and your overanalyzing brain that's in hypervigilance? And does one feel like it's particularly in your body? And which part of your body do you sense this intuition in? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing and sending this on to any other sensitive souls that you feel would benefit from this video. Sending you so much love. Bye.